a very Spanish-sounding name. It's German, but Marcus Bockisch's mother's side of the family is from Spain, and so he has spent probably every summer since he was a kid in Spain. He and his wife Liz lived in Spain for about a year and a half in the 90s, and then when they came back, they decided they wanted to start planting some vineyards, and things just took off from there. So their first vintage was 2000, and I've been with them since 2014. So,
awesome.
Yeah. So Marcus grows all of the grapes for all of our wines. He brought the cuttings for the Albarino, Garnacha, and Tempranillo, and Graciano from Spain. So brought those back in the late 90s. He's the first person to plant a Graciano in this country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's a little...
Oh, I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah.
First to plant a Graciano from Spain in this country, in the U.S. So for those of you catching up, when we get a little pour of wine, Bockisch is in Lodi, California, and they specialize in Spanish type wines. The mother side of the family came from Spain, right?
Yes.
And so Marcus spent a lot of summer days in Spain learning about the viniculture and stuff like that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, and then the last interesting fact is we later on we're starting with the whites. We're gonna have a Graciano. That's how they say it in Spain, Graciano. First planted in the U.S. The cuttings from the vineyards in Spain were brought to the U.S. in the late 90s, you say? Late 90s, and their first vintage was in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'm good.
Yeah.
That was serious, yeah, I remember there.
So this is our 2017 Albarino from our Terra Alta vineyard, which is where our winery is located. It's an organically farmed vineyard, but the wine is not considered organic. 100% stainless steel, so really nice, bright, crisp wine.
Yeah.
We pick at lower sugars. All of our wines we try to pick at lower sugars. We want lower alcohol, more food-friendly wines. So this is our flagship, one of our flagship wines. We make about 800 cases of it a year.
Mm-hmm.
Really good seafood wine.
It's delicious wine. Very tasty. It tastes just like she explained it tastes.
Yeah, really just bright nose. We do nice cold fermentation, so about 50 degrees, and that really keeps those nice bright aromatics and flavors. So that in combination with the low sugars.
Okay.
So yeah.
Do you guys do any leaf stirring?
Not on the Albarino. No.
Like, it's got a really nice mouthfeel.
It sits on the leaves
Okay.
Until usually for about 3-4 months, but I don't do any stirring. So you do get a little bit of that fatness.
Yeah, it's really nice in the mid-palate.
By the way, that's Elyse from Bockisch Vineyards, and this is Tori from Chambers and Chambers. So yeah, Tori is used to take part in these videos a while ago, and so we're starting to retake on the videos and learning about delicious wine. Some of these wines end up at the wine list here at Cueva Bar. Tori is widely she's got wide knowledge of wine, and she knows what kind of wines we like at Cueva Bar. So she's always bringing amazing, delicious, cool wines. But yeah, we're tasting wine with Bockisch Vineyards today. We just had an Albarino, very, very easy drinking. It was explained, they pick them with low sugar, so they are lower in alcohol and more food friendly.
So this is our 2018 Garnacha Blanca. Anytime there's a Spanish synonym for a grape variety, we use it. So Garnacha Blanca.
Okay.
This is our 2018, so brand new vintage. We just bottled this in January. This is pretty cool because we last year there's an international Grenache competition held in Europe, and they've been doing it for the last 6 or 7 years. We entered the competition last year, and we were the first American winery to enter, and we won a gold medal for our Garnacha Blanca. Different vintage, but this one we just submitted to the competition again, so we're super excited about that.
Nice. And where was the competition at?
It's called the International Grenache Competition, and last year it was held in Spain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this year it's held in France.
And the U.S. won.
We won a gold medal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Woo, represent.
So this is a little bit of a different wine. We vinify this a little bit differently, so it does see some stainless steel, but we actually started playing around a couple of years ago with a little bit of new French oak, a light toast though, so you're not getting oakiness, you're getting more of that texture, and then acacia. So acacia is a completely different wood. played around with that a little bit in very small quantities, and so it's a blend of
I like it.
that. Yeah. This is from our Vista Luna vineyard.
Vista Luna. And all these are Lodi Valley, California, right? That's how you say it?
These are all Lodi, California.
Lodi, California.
And the really cool thing about Lodi, the appellation is pretty large. We are the largest grape growing region in the country. We have over 100,000 acres of wine grapes. Marcus Bockisch Farm is about 2,800 acres, so pretty substantial amount. Most of that goes to other wineries. So they've created 7 sub-appellations within that larger Lodi AVA, and it's based on soil type.
Oh.
So where this vineyard is located in the Clements Hills AVA is volcanic clay soil. This is volcanic clay soil as well in the Borden Ranch area, but it's more like a cobbly, so you're seeing bigger rocks out there. So it's pretty cool to see because you can actually drive and you see where one soil type ends and one begins. So Marcus was actually pretty instrumental in doing that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What's the story behind the labels on the front?
So the labels are actually Liz Bockisch has just gone online and looked for artwork online that's reminiscent of Spain, and then purchases that, and then our label designer then just tweaks it a little bit, and we have different artwork for each variety.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So this is our 2016 Garnacha. You can see that a little bit lighter in color. This is a true expression of Garnacha from Lodi. We don't really blend too much into this, so if you're seeing dark Garnachas from Spain and France and other areas, a lot of times they're blending something else into it, like Syrah or Petit Syrah, but they're also older vines. These vines are only about 18 years old. This is also from our Terra Alta vineyard. Super, super great wine for the summer when it's hot. Just chill it down just a touch. It's really...
It's got a sweet nose. Garnacha.
Yeah, so we just released this not too long ago.
It's delicious. Love all the acidity. It's gonna keep you coming back.
I was trying to come up with 3 simple descriptions for wine. Delicious, and I didn't get that far.
Oh, that's really...
I mean, the thing about wine is you can only tasting wine what you have tasted before, right? So if you haven't tasted licorice, how do you know there's licorice in the wine? You know what I mean?
Point.
That's super tasty.
Thank you.
It's definitely dry. That I can relate to. Dry means not sweet. And if I were to say sweet, this would be like a sweet wine, but that's not the case. This is dry.
Yeah, I like this is the summertime option.
Yeah. All right. So
When-
this,
oh, sorry, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, you okay. Go ahead.
this is our 2015 Tempranillo.
2015 Tempranillo.
So this is our other flagship wine. We do about between 800 to 1,000 cases of this. This is actually a blend of 2 different vineyards, but starting with the 2016 vintage, we're vineyard designating. So this is a blend of the Bockisch's backyard vineyard
Salud.
that they call Las Cereces. And that's the mother block for all of our Tempranillo, Graciano, and Albarino. So that's where Marcus planted those first cuttings.
Oh,
And so any other vineyard where we're growing Tempranillo and Albarino and Graciano, those cuttings came from that vineyard.
oh nice.
Yeah,
The mother vineyard, I like that.
The mother
it's the
vineyard.
mother.
That's awesome. Oh wow. How much in oak you said?
It's 30% new oak, and it's a blend of French, American, and Hungarian.
Oh, Hungarian. Never heard that one.
Yeah, so Hungarian actually gives a little bit of spice. So we use out of that 30%, it's about 5% Hungarian, about 5 to 7% American, and then the rest is French.
Yeah, this is a funky Tempranillo. It's good.
Yeah,
When I say funky, it means good. To me, funky wine is good, by the way.
Funky wine is interesting.
Right? Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's like, oh wow, I like new flavors. So this is, huh?
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, but it's definitely got heavy tannins, right?
This is actually a baby. This is
That's why.
not quite 4 years old, but
Okay.
Tempranillo ages really, really well. We actually started a Gran Reserva program in 2014. So in Spain, they have different levels based on how long the wine is aged in barrel and in bottle. So typically, a lot of Tempranillos you'll find out in the market are either Crianza or Reserva. And then Gran Reserva, what we did, it was over 3.5 years in barrel, and it will be in bottle for 2 years before we release it. So our 2014 Gran Reserva we're releasing next year
Ooh, I'm excited for
because it ages so well.
Yeah.
So if you have some patience, hold on to it. But also, it's really a beautiful wine when it's young. So,
That's super cool.
and then this is our 2016 Graciano.
Ooh, the first Graciano planted in the U.S.
I
Right?
had
Yes.
no idea about that.
Yep. So if you're seeing
I did not expect
Graciano,
that one.
so Marcus did gift everything that he brought from Spain. He gifted to UC Davis, and so you can actually get these clones from different nurseries. But if you're seeing anybody else making Graciano, they're either getting their grapes from us or they got their cuttings from us. So
Okay.
this is also Marcus's favorite variety. It's a different beast. People always ask me like, what would you compare it to? And
Oh my.
couldn't really compare it to anything.
Get a lot of savoriness on the nose.
Yeah. I get raisin in the back. So I'm smelling the wine, but I don't get the raisin till up here. You see? Like right there, I sense the raisin. Ooh.
So this is in about 15% new oak.
15% new oak, I can tell. So 2016. When will this be best to drink according to the winemaker?
Now.
Now?
So Tempranillo and Graciano age really well. So, Tempranillo, you could drink this for the next 10, 15 years, and it'll be really nice. Same thing with the Graciano. The Garnacha has a little bit of a shorter life, but the Garnacha will drink well probably for the next 5 to 8 years.
Okay.
So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and what we do is, so this Tempranillo has a little bit of Graciano blended into it, just to give it a
okay.
little bit more acid, a little bit more structure, but it's only 2%.
Okay.
So a very small amount.
I think it's safe to
fun
say
wine.
that in the wine world, there's a percentage of wine that you can put in another wine without having to say this is a blend, right? So this Tempranillo, this Tempranillo right here has 2%?
2%.
It has 2% Graciano. So, you have to talk to the people who know about the wine to know that it actually has Graciano, right? And the reason why winemakers do that, well, they all have their own reasoning and palate and decisions, and it's just like creating food, right? In a different way, obviously, but they're creating the flavors based on knowledge they have about different grapes. They add it into another grape, but just a little bit to give it a punch of acidity. Is that what you said in this case? And the Tempranillo is still called just Tempranillo. Anyway, yeah, that was fun and interesting.
Cool, thank you.
Anything you'd like to share with our viewers before we head out?
Wow.
You don't have to.
Yeah,
No
I think
pressure.
I think the tasting kind of.
Delicious
For
wine.
themselves, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thank you all for tuning in. If you're watching this on a replay, leave your questions or comments. I'll make sure to reach out to Tori right here with any questions that I might not have the answer, and where to find these wines. Hit me up, put the comments, follow us, share.